Okay. So last day we've seen the time shift property. Let us solve a problem regarding that. This was the thing what we've seen, that if the signal has been time shifted, then we're supposed to have the variation in the phase. The magnitude part remains same. The magnitude part remains same. Only the difference coming in the argument. So we are having this term which has been added with the term of the Fourier transform. So if we are having a signal which has been time shifted, something like that, t minus t naught, so we are supposed to get e to the power minus j omega t naught along with that Fourier transform of the signal. So by using this concept we are supposed to solve a problem. So let us consider a signal has been given, something like this, a rectangular pulse, it is minus t naught to t naught, it is xt has been given, and another signal which is a time shifted version of this, it is something like this. So this one is zt, it is time shifted. So this one now become t1 minus t naught, and this one is t naught plus t1. Okay. So using the Fourier transform of the rectangular pulse xt, we need to determine the Fourier transform of a time shifted rectangular pulse zt. Using the Fourier transform of the rectangular pulse xt, determine the Fourier transform of a time shifted rectangular pulse z of t. Okay. So what does it mean? If you go with the solution, this z of t, we can say it is time shifted version of this x of t, and this time shifting parameter is t1. So we can say it is t minus t1, right? So the time shift property implies that this z j omega will be e to the power minus j omega t1, this is the parameter, into x of j omega. So according to time shifting property, what we can say, this z of j omega is e to the power minus j omega t1 x of j omega. So what is x of j omega? We have already derived that one. X of j omega is twice by omega, it is a sinc function of sine omega t naught, right? Therefore our z of j omega is e to the power minus j omega t1 twice by omega sine omega t naught. Okay. So in this way we are supposed to apply the time shifting property or time shift property. Okay. Next, another problem. It is one. Let's take another problem like this. So xt is given as e to the power minus twice t u of t minus 3. This is the problem which has been given. So what does it mean? Our signal is starting from t is equals to 3, right? But this exponential part is showing that it is starting from the origin. So we need to find out the Fourier transform of this signal. So we want our signal should be time shifted at t minus 3, right? So what we need to do? We need to take that signal as t minus 3. That is x minus t naught, it is 3. So this one will be minus of 2. It is how we to go with that? We are supposed to add 3 and deduct 3 from this. Just try to understand. our signal, it has been given at origin, but it is actually time shifted. It is shifted at the location of 3, right? So we need to take the signal, that is exponential part, at that location. Then we are supposed to apply the time shifting property. So what we did, it is t, so we need to take t minus 3 from that. So if we going to take t minus 3, so 1 e to the power minus 6 is there. So we are writing something like this, minus of 2 t minus 3 u of t minus 3. Now whole of the signal is been shifted at the location 3, t is equals to 3. So after that we are going to apply Fourier transformation of that. So if we are going to take the Fourier transformation of this, so what will be the result? For this it is 1 by a plus j omega. Here a is 2, right? So our time shifting parameter is 3 here. So this is minus 6. So t naught, here t naught is 3. So we are supposed to have minus j omega 3, and the Fourier transform of this signal, that is minus a, it is a plus, here a is 2 plus j omega. Just try to understand what we did. Our signal is been given, this exponential part is been given at t is equals to 0, but originally whole of the signal should be shifted to t is equals to 3, because this is the step signal which has been started at 3, right? So we can say it is something like that. If we are supposed to draw our signal, it is having the maximum amplitude of 2, so it is decaying like this. But we are having a step which has been started at t is equals to 3. So like this, we can say like this, it is 3. Okay. So all of the signal should be shifted at location 3. So what we did for that, we are taking our signal should be at 3. So we are doing some kind of manipulation over here. T is been replaced by plus 3 and minus 3. So we have taken e to the power minus 6. Then whole of the signal has been shifted to t is equal to 3. So this shifting parameter is 3. So we have taken j minus j omega t naught. T naught is 3, and we are having e to the power minus at. For that, if you take the Fourier transformation from this, it is coming as 1 by a plus j omega. That is what we have written, 2 plus j omega. So we can say it is e to the power minus 6 e to the power minus j3 omega by 2 plus j omega. So it is the result of this. Clear? What we did? If this kind of signal has been given, one has been situated at the origin, other part of the signal has been started at some other location, then whole of the signal, the multiplied signal should be started from the same location. So for that case, we need to do some kind of manipulation over here, and this term has been coming out. After that, we need to take out the shifting parameter as e to the power minus j omega t naught. Then we are supposed to apply the Fourier transformation of that. Clear? Yes? Any doubt? Okay. Next is frequency shift property. Frequency shifting property. So let us take a signal xt, which Fourier transform is x of j omega. Okay. So what we need to do? We need to take the shifting in the frequency, right? We need to take the shifting in the frequency. So let us consider, after doing the shifting, the resultant signal is z of j omega. So what is this z of j omega? This z of j omega is x j. We have been shifting its frequency. Let us consider by some parameter gamma. We are shifting the frequency of the signal. This is frequency domain signal. So obviously for that frequency domain signal, we are doing the frequency shifting. So after doing the frequency shifting property, after applying that, we are getting the resultant signal is z of j omega. Okay. So this z of j omega, we can consider that its time domain signal was z of t. Okay, so after the Fourier transform of that, we are getting z of j omega, right? So what is this z of t? Z of t is 1 by 2s pi integration minus infinite to infinite z of j omega e to the power j omega t d omega, right? So on that z of j omega, we are supposed to replace this value 1 by 2s pi integration minus infinite to infinite x j omega minus gamma e to the power j omega t d omega. Okay, clear? So let us substitute this omega minus gamma by another parameter. So what we are doing, we are taking omega minus gamma is equals to some another parameter. Let us consider eta. So this z of t will be 1 by 2s pi integration minus infinite to infinite. So this one will be x j of eta, then omega will be eta plus gamma j of eta plus gamma t, and this one is d eta, right? So e to the power j gamma t will come outside of the integration, e to the power j gamma t 1 by 2s pi integration minus infinite to infinite x j eta e to the power j eta t d eta. Okay, so this is what this is. Previously frequency was in terms of omega, now the frequency become the shifted frequency, that is eta. So we can write this one same as our x of t. This portion is same as our x of t. So what we can say, j gamma t x of t. Okay, so this z of t, it is same as e to the power j gamma t x of t. Okay, so what is this z of t? Z of t is a time domain signal for the shifted frequency shifted signal. So this is our z of j omega. If you take the Fourier transform, that we are supposed to get the z of t. So z of j omega is the frequency shifted signal or frequency shifted version of x of j omega. So what we can say, frequency shift corresponds to multiplication in the time domain by a complex sinusoid whose frequency is equal to the shift. Okay, frequency shift corresponds to multiplication in the time domain by a complex sinusoid. This is complex sinusoid whose frequency this gamma is the shifting parameter, is equal to the shift, Okay, so if we go with all the Fourier representation, these frequency shift properties of Fourier representation, so different Fourier representations are there. Properties of Fourier representation. We need to add this complex sinusoid with the time domain signal, then we are supposed to get the frequency shift in the frequency domain signal. So what does it mean? E to the power j gamma t x of t, if we have been multiplying with this, if you take the Fourier transform after that, we are supposed to get a signal which is frequency shifted in the frequency domain, omega minus gamma, right? Then in the same way, if we go with the Fourier series e to the power j k naught omega naught t x of t, it is Fourier series with the fundamental frequency of omega naught, it is x of k minus k naught. Same e to the power j, it is gamma, capital gamma n x of n. If we take dtft of this, then we are having x e to the power j gamma minus capital gamma, like this. And for dtfs, x of k minus k. Okay, so these are the Fourier representations for the frequency shift property. So let us solve a problem for this. So using the frequency shift property, we need to determine the Fourier transform of the complex sinusoid pulse. Okay, so that complex sinusoid pulse is given as zt is equals to e to the power j tan t for t less than pi, mod of t less than pi, and 0 for mod of t greater than pi. So we need to use frequency shift property to determine the Fourier transform. Okay, so we can express this zt as a product of complex sinusoid e to the power j tan t and a rectangular pulse. Okay, we can express this given z of t as the product of a complex sinusoid e to the power j tan t, which is given, and a rectangular pulse that is given as x of t is 1 for pi and 0 for, it will be greater than pi. So what we are doing, we are expressing this z of t as a product of this complex sinusoid and a rectangular pulse. So this is the rectangular pulse which is having the amplitude of 1 for minus pi as well as for the plus pi. Okay, so what will be the Fourier transform of this x of t? That is x of j omega, which is twice by omega sine omega pi. Here t naught is pi. Okay, so next we need to apply the frequency shift property. So applying frequency shift property e to the power j tan t into x of t, if we take the Fourier transform of this, we are supposed to get x j omega minus 10. Okay, so after all we are supposed to get this z of t. So this is z of t. Z of t, if you take the Fourier transform, so what we supposed to get? We are having, this is the frequency. So here omega will change to omega minus 10. So 2 by omega minus 10 sine of omega minus 10 into pi. Okay, understood? So what they are asking to use frequency shift property to determine the Fourier transform for z of t. We need to use the frequency shift property. So this is the frequency shifting parameter, right? It is e to the power gamma t. So here gamma is 10. So we need to apply, we need to take this frequency shifting parameter to be multiplied with a given signal. So our given signal we have been considered as a rectangular pulse. Okay. So what we did, we have taken the Fourier transform of this x of rectangular pulse, something like that. Then we have been multiplied this complex sinusoid with this rectangular pulse, and we have been getting the frequency shifted Fourier transform in the frequency domain. So after all, this is the frequency shifted signal in the frequency domain. Okay. Next is multiplication property. So what is this? Multiplication property defines whatever Fourier representation we are considering. It is the Fourier representation of a product of time domain signal. Okay. So this property or multiplication property defines the Fourier representation of a product of time domain signals. Product of time domain signal. Okay. So for our case, we are considering both the time domain signal are non-periodic continuous time. Okay. So both the signals are non-periodic continuous time signal. So let us consider these two signals are xt and z of t. Okay. So the product of these two signals is y of t as xt into z of t. This is the product of the signal yt. Okay. So let us consider this xt, its Fourier representation is 1 by 2s pi. For the time being, we are considering this xt and z is having different frequency component. It is having different frequency component. So something like that. X of j small v, let us consider e to the power j vt dv, and our z of t, it is 1 by 2s pi integration minus infinite to infinite z of j eta, let us consider e to the power j eta t d eta. Okay. So our product of the signal, that is yt, will be multiplication of these two. So this one will become 1 by 2i pi whole square integration minus infinite to infinite, then minus infinite to infinite x of jv z, sorry it is capital Z, j eta e to the power j eta plus v t d eta dv. Okay, now we are taking this eta as omega minus v. We are changing this one, changing the variable to variable as omega minus v. So as a consequence, what will happen? Yt be 1 by 2s pi integration minus infinite to infinite, 1 by 2s pi we are taking inside, minus infinite to infinite x of jv z j, then eta will be omega minus v. Okay, up to this. So this inner integral, this one is representing convolution of z g omega and x of g omega, right? Previously that was tau, now we are representing in terms of this v, right? This one is representing in terms of v. So we can say this one is the convolution between z j omega and x of j omega, while this outer integral over the omega, this is g omega, is of the form of the Fourier representation of the yt. This, if we take this one 1 by 2s pi integration out of this, up this one is up to this one is the convolution. Okay, and if you take 1 by 2s pi integration, then convolution of this into d omega e to the power j omega t d omega, this one is the Fourier representation of yt. So that one is y j omega, right? So what we can write that y of t, which has been considered as xt into z of t, if we take the Fourier transform of this, then it will result into y of j omega, it is 1 by 2s pi, it is 1 by 2s pi x of j omega convolution with z of j omega. Okay, so where this x of j omega convolution with z of j omega is integration minus infinite to infinite x of jv z j of omega minus v dv. Clear? And outer one is the Fourier transform of this y of t. So what we can say, multiplication of two signal in the time domain corresponds to convolution of their Fourier transforms in the frequency domain, and multiplication by a factor 1 by 2s pi. Okay, so this is the thing which we can draw from this, multiplication of two signals in the time domain corresponds to convolution of their Fourier transforms in the frequency domain, and multiplication by a factor 1 by twice pi. Okay, so similarly we can take for the DTFT also, discrete time non-periodic signals also. Similarly for discrete time non-periodic periodic signals xn and z of n, we can write y of n is xn into z of n. If we take DTFT of this, then we are getting y e to the power, now there is a twist, you just tell me why it is e to the power j omega, it is 1 by twice pi x of e to the power j omega. Now it is periodic convolution z e to the power j omega. So here the time domain signals are non-periodic, but when we are getting or we are taking DTFT, we are getting periodic convolution. Okay, so here this symbol denotes periodic convolution. Periodic convolution. Here x e to the power j omega and z e to the power j omega are twice pi periodic. Twice pi period. Okay, so if you take this x of e to the power j omega periodic convolution with z e to the power j omega, it is rather minus infinity to infinity, now it will become minus pi to pi x e to the power, let us consider theta for this, j theta, z e to the power j omega minus theta, it is d theta. Okay, so I hope you can able to find out the reason for this, why this non-periodic signal in the time domain, when we are taking DTFT, this one results into periodic convolution, right? So a discrete time signal in time domain, if it is non-periodic, if we take DTFT of that, frequency domain signal will become periodic. I have given the table for this, if you can remember. Okay, so for this reason we need to take periodic convolution for DTFT. Now if we consider multiplication property for periodic signal, time domain periodic signal, multiplication property for time domain periodic signal. So it is same as whatever we have been considered for the non-periodic signal. Okay, so here this yt will be the multiplication of xt and z of t. So we need to consider the Fourier transform. This fundamental frequency we know and the fundamental time period is t. So this one is twice pi by t. So this one will result into y of k, that is x of k convolution with z of k. Okay, so where this x of k convolution with z of k is summation m, let us consider it as m minus infinite to infinite x of m into z of k minus m. So which is a non-periodic convolution of the Fourier series coefficient, which is a non-periodic convolution of the Fourier series coefficients. So things are changed. So when we are considering time domain, continuous time domain, periodic signal, and when we are taking the Fourier transform, they become non-periodic. That's why we are taking non-periodic convolution, but our time domain signals are periodic. Okay, next the multiplication property for discrete time periodic signal. So here it is continuous time, next we are taking multiplication, because all things are going to the frequency domain. So whenever it has been transformation has been going from time domain to frequency domain, so one periodic will become non-periodic, one non-periodic is become periodic. So we need to take care of that multiplication property for discrete time periodic signal. So our y of n is x of n into z of n. So discrete time periodic signal, that is dtfs, it is twice pi by n, period is n. So it is periodic, discrete time periodic. So this one is yk is x of k. Now it is periodic convolution z of k. So where x of k periodic convolution with z of k is summation m is equals to 0 to n minus 1 x of m z of k minus m is the periodic convolution of DTFS coefficients. You need to remember these things. So all the three time domain signal have the common fundamental period of n. This xn, zn and yn, all the three time domain signals have a common fundamental period, that is n. Clear? Now as a whole, if you have been going with the multiplication properties for Fourier representation as a whole, first is xt into z of t. We supposed to apply Fourier transform on this. It is 1 by 2s pi x of g omega convolution with z of g omega. Next xt zt for Fourier series, that is omega naught, it is xk convolution with z of k. Next, dtft x of n z of n, dtft, it is 1 by 2s pi x e to the power j omega, it is periodic convolution with z of e to the power j omega. Okay. Next, for dtfs, dtfs fundamental frequency is omega naught, is x of k. Now it is periodic convolution z of k. Okay. Next property is scaling property. So what we are taking? We are taking an signal z of t, which is the time scaled version of x of t, that is x of at, where a is a constant. So a signal zt, which is the time scaled version of x of t. So if we have been going with this Fourier transform, this z of t, that is z of j omega, is minus infinite to infinite z of t e to the power minus j omega t dt. So we are replacing this z of t with x of at, minus infinite to infinite x of at e to the power minus j omega t dt. So let us consider, let tau is equals to a into t. So this z of j omega, two possibilities are there, if a greater than 0 and if a less than 0. Okay, so this one will be 1 by a integration minus infinite to infinite x of tau e to the power minus j, t will be tau by a. So we are writing omega by a into tau d tau. This one is for a greater than 0. Another possibility is that 1 by a, this one is in the negative side, so it is for a negative. So this one will become minus infinite is the upper limit, lower limit is the plus infinite, x of tau e to the power minus j omega by a tau d tau. It is for a less than 0. Okay. So these two integrals may be combined by taking a as a mod. So single integral can be written as z j omega as 1 by mod of a integration minus infinite to infinite x of tau e to the power minus j omega by a tau d tau. Okay. So what we can say? So this one is the Fourier transform of x tau. The frequency is scaled by omega by a, right? So what we can say, that zt, it is x of at. If you take the Fourier transform of this, we are getting 1 by mod a x j omega by a. Okay. So here it is multiplied with time, now it is divided with frequency. So scaling in the signal in time introduces inverse scaling in the frequency domain representation, and an amplitude also changed. Okay, so what we can say about scaling, that scaling the signal in time introduces the inverse scaling. Why inverse scaling? Here it is multiplication, now it is division. So it is inverse scaling in the frequency domain representation, and an amplitude change. Okay, so let's solve a problem for this. A rectangular pulse is given. Using the Fourier transform of this rectangular pulse and the scaling property, we need to find the Fourier transform of the scaled rectangular pulse. So this given rectangular pulse is x of t. It is like this: 1 for mod of t less than 1 and 0 for mod of t greater than 1. It is given. Next, the scaled version is y of t is 1 for mod of t less than 2 and 0 for mod of t greater than 2. So this is the scaled version of this x of t. So we need to find out the Fourier transform of this scaled rectangular pulse, that is yt. So obviously here t naught is rectangular pulse. If you draw this one, it is x of t, this one is -1, it is +1, and for this one if you draw, it is -2 and it is +2. It is your y of t, right? So here t naught is 1. So if you go with the solution, this x of j omega is twice by omega sine of omega, because since here t naught is 1. Okay, so what is this yt? If you can remember from the signals, basic properties of the signals, so if it is expand in the time, means it is compression, right? So what we can say about this yt in terms of x of t? So yt is x of t by 2, by this 2. It is scaled by 2. So what we can say here, this scaling property, according to the scaling property, the parameter is a is half. This a is half. Here a is half. Okay, so what about this y of j omega? So here we can say y of j omega is this 1 by a is half, so 2 is been coming, then omega by a is half, so it is x j 2 omega, right? I hope you have understood this one. It is expansion, right? Previously it was 1, now it is 2. So this parameter a is half. So a is half means it is 2, it is also 2. So what will be this Fourier transform of this? Then 2 into 2 by omega. So here 2 by omega is twice of omega, this modified omega. Then sine omega will be replaced by twice of omega. So this one is twice by omega sine of twice of omega. This is our required Fourier transform of the scaled signal y of t. Clear? Now we have been considered Fourier transform since our given signal is non-periodic signal. So if the given signal is a periodic signal, then we need to go with Fourier series rather going with Fourier transform. So if xt, this given signal is a periodic signal, then this z of t is x of at is also periodic, and the Fourier series is the appropriate Fourier representation. Appropriate Fourier representation. So let us consider for our convenience this a is positive, that is greater than 0. So for this case scaling changes the fundamental period of the signal. So something like that, let a is positive, that is a greater than 0, then the scaling changes, obviously that will change the fundamental period, changes the fundamental period of the signal, because either that will be multiplied or that will be divided with that fundamental period, fundamental period of the signal. Let us consider if xt has fundamental period of t, then about this z of t has fundamental period of t by a. Here the fundamental period of that time scaled signal will be changed. So hence if the fundamental frequency of xt is omega naught, then that will be multiplied. It is time compression means frequency expansion. Here time expansion means frequency compression. So we can say, so hence if the fundamental frequency of x of t is omega naught, then the fundamental frequency of z of t is omega naught into a. It is compression, now it is expansion. So this Fourier series coefficients for this zt, the Fourier series coefficients of z of t is represented by z of a is, now it is a by t, it is 1 by t, so t is become t by a, so this one will be a by t. The integration will be 0 to t, now it will be t by a. Fundamental time period is changing. Z of t e to the power frequencies get expanded. So this one minus jk a into omega naught t dt. That is the change. Okay. So what we can say, this z of t is x of at when we are applying Fourier series. The frequencies, fundamental frequencies changes to a into omega naught, that is z of k is same as x of k. Only the change is fundamental frequencies get modified. So the Fourier series coefficients of xt and x of at are identical. The scaling operation simply changes the harmonic spacing from omega naught to a omega naught. Okay. The Fourier series coefficients of xt. So when we are having periodic signal, that is the changes is been coming into picture. Xt and x of at are same. The scaling operation changes the harmonic spacing from, previously it was harmonic spacing means the harmonics or the frequency components which are been for different frequency, means as we are going with Fourier series, so many sinusoids are there. So those harmonics previously that was at the spacing of omega naught, now they are spaced at a omega naught. Harmonic spacings from omega naught to a into omega naught. So this is the change. Okay. So this one is for the periodic signal. Previously that was for the aperiodic signal. For the aperiodic signal, all the frequency components are remain same, because we are not at all dealing with any of the particular time period for the signal, because it is aperiodic in nature. Okay. So any doubt up to this? So I am just concluding up to this for today.